Marley was dead to begin with. There is no doubt about that.
Dead, Mr. Scrooge?
There's a doornail.
Oh, what's that?
Wonton.
To say Scrooge was distraught over the passing of his friend and partner would be an understatement.
Well, Marley, looks like it's your time.
No tears would suffice, no expense too great.
Fare thee well, old friend. Watch the paint, you idiots!
The register of Marley's burial was signed by the clergyman, the clerk, the undertaker, and the chief mourner. Scrooge signed it. And Scrooge's name was good for anything he chose to put his hand to. Scrooge was Marley's sole executor, sole administrator, sole residuary legatee, sole mourner, and sole friend. But Scrooge wasn't nearly so upset that he missed solemnizing the affair with an undoubted bargain.
Hey! You chopped off me toes!
Call me. There's money in chopped toes.
Ow!
Whiner.
Oh, yes, Marley was dead, all right. That must be distinctly understood. Or nothing wonderful can come of the story I'm about to relate. 7 years passed, and the whole town of Winterset, Connecticut, was joyously preparing for Christmas. All save one.
Out of my way!
Time had done little to soften the old grouch. Still hard as flint and solitary as an oyster. No warmth could warm him, no winter chill him. Cold was cheap, and Scrooge liked it. But if there was one thing that old Scrooge hated most, it was the Winterset Presbyterian Church's annual Christmas manger. That manger sat directly in front of City Hall, like a boil on the end of Scrooge's nose. As president of the local chapter of Atheists Are Us, Scrooge could clearly see the outrage of it all.
It's an abomination to atheists everywhere.
He told his fellow members at their most recent meeting.
Something must be done.
This call to action drew a hearty
hurrah
from all those present, which wasn't in the least surprising, for with Marley dead, Scrooge was not only president, he was the only member.
Enjoy it. It's your last Christmas.
Penny for the baby, sir.
Get a job. Get out your checkbook, Mayor. I'm gonna sue. For trespass. Sure.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
One more word from you, Cratchit, and you'll celebrate the holidays looking for a new position.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge. Sorry, Mr. Scrooge.
Send these people away. I've got bigger fish to fry.
Well, you heard Mr. Scrooge then. Come on, off with you. There we go. No. Come back tomorrow. All full at the inn. Here we go.
What about my injury, Mr. Scrooge?
You said we was going to sue their knickers off.
Mr. Smiley, sir.
So what's wrong with you, Smelly?
I fell off the ladder. At the mill? Don't you remember, Mr. Scrooge?
Of course I remember. Got a mind like a steel trap. So what do you got, a cracked vertebrae or twisted spine?
I broke me leg, sir.
Broke your leg? There's no money in a broken leg. Who took him on, anyway?
Why, you did, sir. I got 5 little ones at home. Ain't nothing coming in, sir.
You did promise him, Mr. Scrooge.
Look at me, Cratchit. Am I not flesh and bone and mere mortal? One man can only do so much.
You're a martyr, Mr. Scrooge. No doubt about it.
Have some soup, Cratchit.
Oh, no. No. I had myself a huge breakfast. Stuffed, couldn't eat another bite.
All right, Smelly.
Smiley.
Let's have a look at you.
You got nothing to worry about. Ain't no one better than Mr. S here when it comes to personal injuries and such.
There's not much money in broken legs. Squat down. Broken neck. Yeah. I can get a fortune for a broken neck. That's better.
Bless you, Mr. Scrooge. I won't forget this.
Of course you won't. You'll spend the rest of your life paying me off.
Huh?
A little joke there. Mr. S sure likes himself a good joke.
Size 7 ought to do it. And this is a bargain at only $25 a day. Deducted from your settlement, of course.
There we go. All right. All right, then. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
So what am I getting?
25%, Mr. Scrooge. 50?
75. I may be a martyr, but I ain't cheap.
Merry Christmas, Uncle Scrooge. And to you, Bob Cratchit.
Merry Christmas to you, sir.
Out with you and take your Merry Christmas with you.
Oh, you don't mean that.
I do mean that. If they think sending my nephew over here to beg for
I'm not
mercy
here
is
to
going
beg. You wouldn't really sue the town.
Why not?
Come now, Uncle, be reasonable.
When have I ever been unreasonable? Careful, Cratchit.
Sorry, Mr. Scrooge.
Take down that manger. I'll drop my lawsuit. Now, that's reasonable enough.
But it's been there for as long as anyone can remember. A symbol of what Christmas is all about.
Christmas. What do you know of Christmas? What good's it ever done you?
But it has done me good, Uncle. Far more than I could ever repay.
Oh, look at him, Cratchit. Measly little city attorney in a measly little town. Does Christmas put food on your table? And does it send those snotty little brats off to college? Last year, Cratchit, his youngest was sick. Who was it paid?
You did, sir.
And I'll think twice next time. Oh, listen. This trial could be very expensive. Suits, countersuits, postponements, appeals could go on for years.
Such a thing would bankrupt the town, and you know it.
So take down that manger.
We can't. We won't.
All right, counselor. I'll see you in court.
Merry Christmas.
Somewhere, Cratchit.
Oh, it's after 7, Mr. Scrooge.
We have an important case, man.
But we're having family and friends over tonight. A little Christmas celebration.
Christmas. What must I do to rid myself of that infernal word? All right, off with you. But see that you're here all the earlier for court in the morning.
I will, sir. Thank you, Mr. Scrooge. Thank you.
You'll never amount to anything, Cratchit. Do you know that? No ambition. Family and friends. I hope they choke on their Christmas pudding.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. Scrooge.
All rise! Court's now in session. The Honorable Judge Charles Darnay presiding. Be seated.
Morning, Mr. Scrooge.
Good morning, Judge. I trust you received your holiday turkey. Compliments of Scrooge and Marley.
Rather large this year. As this is the Christmas season, let's try to keep this short, shall we? Are you ready to proceed, Mr. Scrooge?
I am, Your Honor.
Then you may call your first witness.
Thank you, Your Honor. I call Mayor Boz to the stand.
Mayor Boz! Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me God, Gipper.
Be seated!
Would you state your name for the record?
Mayor Boz.
And you are the mayor of the town of Winterset.
Yes, indeed, here. Proudly serving,
As a respected public official, you are, of course, familiar with the laws of the United States?
Why, yes, of course I am.
Specifically those concerning separation of church and state.
Well, the separation of...
Church and state.
Know it like the back of my hand. Yep.
Then perhaps you would be so kind as to tell this court the origin of that phrase.
Well, the origin goes...
Didn't it come from a letter written by Thomas Jefferson to the Baptist Association of Danbury, Connecticut in 1802?
The Jefferson Association of Danbury Baptist, 1902.
And in that letter, did not President Jefferson say clearly, without equivocation, that religion and government do not mix?
He did? Oh, he did.
And what do you think Jefferson would say if he saw that manger sitting right smack dab in front of City Hall?
I don't rightly know.
I'll tell you what he would say. He would say, rip it down, Mayor Boz, board by board, tear it up and cast it into the fire.
Well, then, by Georgie, that's just what we'll do. We'll tear it down board by board, with the court's permission, of course.
Your Honor, may I point out that in 1984, Lynch versus Donnelly, the Supreme Court cleared the way for the use of Christmas symbols on public property.
Correct, Counselor. But if you'd been a little more attentive in law school, you would have realized they were speaking of non-religious Christmas symbols.
I'm afraid Mr. Scrooge has a point.
Begging the court's pardon, but that's not what the law says.
Are you correcting me, young man?
I mean no disrespect, Your Honor. May I approach?
Yeah.
I merely wish to point out that the Supreme Court said religious symbols may be used on public property as long as secular ones are used also.
We could just put out W old St. Nick and his flock of flea...
I don't care about that. I want that manger out of there.
Do you have any questions for Mayor Boz?
No, Your Honor.
Then you're excused, Mayor.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I rest my case.
Do you wish to call any witnesses?
No, Your Honor. I would just like to say that this lawsuit is completely frivolous. That manger harms no one.
Duly noted. This court finds itself in a very difficult position. On the one hand, we have one of our town's most wealthy, respected citizens.
On the other, we have a cherished tradition. I understand your feelings, young man. That manger has been in front of City Hall since before my grandfather's time. But the law is the law. The Supreme Court has made it quite clear that city property cannot be used to promote any one religious belief. Therefore, this court decides in favor of the plaintiff.
Yes!
The manger is to be taken down first thing Monday morning.
Excuse me. Your Honor, did you say Monday?
Why, yes, Mr. Scrooge.
But I'm afraid that won't do it all.
Why not?
Because tomorrow's Christmas Eve. By Monday, it'll all be over. They'll have won.
It's the holidays, Mr. Scrooge.
I want my vindication. I want it now.
Very well. The manger is to be taken down immediately.
Your Honor, the city would like to request an injunction until such time as we may file an appeal.
Oh, no, Your Honor. There'll be no appeals. Nobody cares about that silly old manger. I order you to tear it down now.
So what's it going to be, son?
We'll appeal.
You'll do as you're told, young man, or suffer the consequences.
You want to fire me? Fire me.
Fine. You're fired, Yipper.
Very well, then. Court dismissed.
All rise!
Congratulations, Mr. Scrooge.
Thank you, Cratchit. By the way, you're fired.
I beg your pardon?
I told you not to be late.
But it's Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Well, then, Merry Christmas, Cratchit. I think I'm gonna like this holiday.
Uncle, you're still invited to our Christmas dinner, as always.
You're a fool, nephew. I don't need your Christmas dinner, and I don't need you. That's it, that's it. Take it down. Take it down. I beat you, I beat you. I finally beat you. Take it down, take it down. Take it. Fool. Afraid of a plastic toy. Jacob. No. No! To Ebenezer Scrooge, the best lawyer in town.
Give me a second, will you? I've been running for 7 years.
Marley?
Lucifer gets such a kick out of me chasing that ambulance. But that's not the worst part. Every once in a while, I catch it.
Is it really you?
My old friend. In the flesh, so to speak. Oh, well, Ebenezer, I can tell you've changed little. Still as crabby as ever. So, you think the world would be better off without Christmas?
As did you?
Aye, so I did.
Careful what you wish for. What's happened to you, Marley?
Death, Ebenezer.
No! You don't scare me. You don't exist, Jacob Marley. You're dead. A toast to a world without Christmas. No, better yet, to a world in which Jesus had never been born.
Puny little man! Oh! Insignificant creature!
For pity's sake, don't hurt me!
It's for pity's sake that I've come. So, you think the world would be better off if Jesus had never been born, do you? Well, let us see.
Where am I? What's happening?
You're getting your wish, Ebenezer. To see what the world would have been like if Jesus had never been born.
This is some sort of trick.
Prove the world would be better off without Christ. And if you win, you can walk out of here. Never to see me again.
And if I lose?
Better put on your running shoes. Come now, Ebenezer. What are you afraid of?
Not you. Not anything. All right, Jacob. You're on.
You always did love a challenge, Ebenezer. In that case, may I introduce his worship. And a jury of your peers, representatives of mankind. A slave in chains. A sooty woman from India. A frail old man. An Oriental woman. A poor man in tatters. A young girl. You shall be prosecuting attorney. I, the defense.
Jacob, I'm gonna whip you like yesterday's mashed potatoes.
Well then, call your first witness.
Oh, no, Jacob, old friend. You first.
Very well. Bailiff. The defense calls Dr. D. James Kennedy.
Who?
Dr. D. James Kennedy!
Your Honor, Dr. Kennedy will serve as expert witness for the defense. Welcome, Dr. Kennedy. Would you state your name and occupation for the record?
I'm Dr. James Kennedy, and it's my honor to serve as the senior minister of the Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Objection, Your Honor. This man's a preacher. It's a waste of the court's time.
On the contrary, Dr. Kennedy has a PhD in world religion from New York University, and he's chancellor of Knox Theological Seminary.
All right. Objection withdrawn. I'll have this guy for lunch.
Oh, then let the feast begin.
May I, Jacob?
Oh, be my guest, old friend.
Dr. Kennedy, you call yourself an educated man. I say a man has to be brainless to believe in Christianity.
Well, actually, Mr. Scrooge, Christianity and education have gone hand in hand in the United States. As a matter of fact, almost all of the first 123 colleges and universities in the United States were founded by Christians and for Christian purposes. Schools like Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Dartmouth, Columbia, and many, many others. In 1642, the Puritans passed a law mandating education for all children. And by the year 1802, Christian education in this country had produced an amazing 0.04% illiteracy rate.
So who cares if the little rugrats can read?
Well, you should, Mr. Scrooge, because they are our future. For almost 200 years, Christianity gave us safe schools and disciplined students.
You're out of your mind. We live in a pluralistic society. This government can't be based on Christianity or any other religion.
But as a matter of fact, Mr. Scrooge, when the Pilgrims landed in 1620, they wrote in the Mayflower Compact, our first constitution, that they undertook this journey for the glory of God and the advancement of the Christian faith. We find that the very first thing that the Congress did when it was established was to hire chaplains to pray in the House and the Senate, to hire chaplains for our armed forces. And indeed, because we started as a Christian nation, people of all faiths have been and are welcome here.
I assume, Ebenezer, you're willing to concede that Jesus actually lived.
What difference does it make if he lived or not? If he lived, he died like any other man.
Then you don't believe Jesus is God?
There is no God. Only man, greedy and self-serving, who created God in his own image to serve his own purposes.
Interesting view of mankind. Where did it come from, I wonder?
You're nothing but a stupid little boy. You could amount to nothing. I'll teach you to give me your lip.
Your father was a hard man.
No more than most.
Really? Your Honor, the defense wishes to call its next witness. A man whose life has been touched by Christianity on more than one occasion. A man who has enjoyed its many blessings. I wish to call you, Ebenezer.
What?
Ebenezer!
What are you up to, Marley?
What's the matter? You aren't afraid, are you?
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
So help me.
So, Ebenezer, Christian love has never touched your life.
Never.
Never?
Fan.
I've come to bring you home for Christmas, dear brother. Father's so much kinder than he used to be that home's like heaven now. I asked if you could come home, and he said, yes, you should, and sent me on a coach to bring you. Oh, we're to be together all Christmas. Oh, Ebby, let's make this the best Christmas ever.
Your little sister, I believe. A delicate creature whose breath might have withered. But she had a good heart. She did. Died in childbirth, as I recall. Giving birth to your nephew, Fred.
What's your point?
My point, old friend, is that Christ changes lives. Makes a hard life bearable. To paraphrase C.S. Lewis,
if Jesus had never been born, it would be always winter and never Christmas. You know, Christmas is the most wonderful time of the year. It's my favorite time, a time for family and friends, of turkey, pecan pie, and eggnog, a time for Christmas carols and Christmas cookies, a time for reunions and reflections, a time for giving each other presents, because God gave us the greatest gift of all, Jesus Christ, and by his power, Christianity has made more changes on this earth for good than any other movement in history.
That's a lie. Christianity is mankind's most insidious invention.
Hold on, Mr. Scrooge. The Salvation Army, the Red Cross, Habitat for Humanity, Young Men's Christian Association, because of the Christian faith, tens of millions of people are fed and clothed and housed every single year. Christianity has been the world's greatest champion for human life.
Champion of human life? Ha!
All right, let's take a look at the plight of women, for example. In the past, women have been treated as possessions. In India, prior to Christian influences, adult women were burned on their husbands' funeral pyres in a practice known as sati. But Christian missionaries around the world are at the forefront of bringing value to the lives of women.
All right. So Christianity's helped a few women. So what? It also condones slavery.
Actually, Mr. Scrooge, Christianity was the death knell for slavery. It was an evangelical Christian in England by the name of William Wilberforce, a member of Parliament. He spent 47 years introducing bills over and over and over again. And it was finally on the very day that he died that Parliament passed a law that ended slavery. And in the United States, it was once again Christians who led the way. 2/3 of the members of the Abolition Society in America were not only Christians, they were Christian ministers.
Your Honor, if Jesus had never been born, our world would be a cruel and savage place.
Are you blind, Marley? Look around you. The world is a cruel and savage place.
But there's also great kindness.
That there is, Mr. Marley. It was Christians who started most of the first hospitals in the world. Hospitals like St. Luke's, St. Mark, St. Joseph, St. Mary. These were hospitals that were started out of the love of Christ. Florence Nightingale, the founder of modern nursing, took her inspiration from Jesus Christ. Likewise, today, there are thousands of medical missionaries all over the world going places where no one else will go.
So what?
So they wouldn't be there if it weren't for Jesus Christ. Just think. No Mother Teresa, no Francis of Assisi, no David Livingstone. Is the world better off because of Jesus? There is no question about that. The question, Mr. Scrooge, is, are you better off? And the answer is yes. Because if Jesus had never been born, no one would care about you.
Your Honor, if it please the court, I'd like a short recess to confer with my learned adversary. I'd like a word with you, Marley, in private.
Of course. What is it you want, Ebenezer?
Control yourself, Ebenezer. Going to kill you.
I'm already dead. Remember.
Why are you doing this to me? I thought you were my friend.
That is precisely why I'm doing it. For me, there's no hope. But you still have a chance. God is calling to you, Ebenezer.
There is no God.
But there is.
Have you seen him? And don't give me that I've seen him in the order of the universe. Have you seen God face to face?
I have.
And he is perfect love. He even loves me. Imagine that. Vile, wretched creature that I am. And here's a shock. He even loves you. You want to know what hell is, Ebenezer? Hell is knowing, once and for all, that not only does God exist, but that he loves you. Hell is coming face to face with him, the one you've spurned and denied your whole life, only to learn that he's always loved you, still loves you, despite your denials. Hell is finally discovering such perfect love, feeling its warmth embrace you, only to be torn from it by your own choice. That is hell. Oh yes, my friend. I have seen God face to face.
No. No.
This is... No!
Well, Ebenezer, looks like it's your time. Fare thee well, old friend.
Marley! Let me out, Marley! Help! Let me out, Marley! Help! Help! Let me out! No! No! Marley! Let me out, Marley! Help!
No.
This court finds itself in a very difficult position. On the one hand, we have one of our town's most wealthy, respected citizens. Mr. Scrooge? Mr. Scrooge!
What?
Are you all right? Is there something wrong? Would you like to take a short recess? Perhaps we should take a short recess. This court will reconvene in 10 minutes, at which time I will render my decision.
It's all right, sir. God forgives us, you know. All we have to do is ask. And you've done that, haven't you? Well, good for you.
Take this. I'm afraid I wasn't very kind to you before. I want you to take this and take it all. Take it all.
That's very kind of you, sir.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Eppie.
And just like that, old Scrooge's frozen heart melted. Then the old grouch did something he'd never done before in all his life.
Merry Christmas, everyone! Merry Christmas, Your Honor. Merry Christmas, bailiff. And Merry Christmas to you, and to you.
Mr. Scrooge, it is highly rude to keep this court waiting.
Oh, I'm aware of that, Your Honor, and I ask your forgiveness.
Very well, let's get on with it.
There's no reason to get on with it, Your Honor. I'm withdrawing my lawsuit.
Your what?
I want the town to keep up the manger all year. I'll pay for it.
Are you mad?
No, sir. I'm quite sane, I assure you. Oh, Fred, my dear nephew, can you forgive an old fool?
I do, but...
Thank you,
but Uncle, I don't understand.
Oh, Fred, it's really quite simple. I've discovered that I like Christmas. Oh, drat. It's all gone.
That's all right, Mr. Scrooge. I brought my special Christmas punch.
And I've got the turkey. Here he is now.
Oh, Mr. Mayor.
I'd just like to say that manger's a fine tradition. And furthermore, I'd like to thank Winterset's most prestigious citizen for providing the funds for its permanent installation.
That's all right. And, Your Honor, what about...
Yes, of course. To our illustrious city attorney for his spirited defense, in recognition of which there'll be a little something extra in his stocking this year. Congratulations, young man.
Oh, my friends, thank you. Thank you for coming. Let's make this the best Christmas ever.
Old Scrooge became as good a friend, as good a master, and as good a man as the good old city knew. Some people laughed at the sight of him, but he little heeded them, for he was wise enough to know that nothing good ever happened on this globe, at which some people did not have their fill of laughter. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him.
To my Uncle Scrooge, the finest man in town.
Scrooge never saw Marley again. Indeed, he was never quite sure if it had all been merely a dream. But from that day forward, it could be said of old Scrooge that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. And may that be said of all.